Hello, my name is Gina Austin, and I'm a project engineer for the City of Bellingham. I'm here to present the Fairhaven Park Entrance Gateway Project for your review and consideration. Here's what I'll be talking about. I'm going to talk about why we're doing this project, a little bit of background about the park and process. I'll introduce some design concepts, and then we'll talk about next steps in the process. So the purpose of this project is to construct a new entrance sign for this historic park. This sign may function as a gateway or signature structure for this beloved community park. A little bit of background about this park. It is located in the city of Bellingham. It has many community park features and amenities. And we have several stakeholders involved in this process, including community members, the Watcom Parks Foundation, Bellingham Neighborhoods, and the City of Bellingham Planning and Community Development Department, as well as the Arts Commission. This park has many amenities. It's a community park and includes a spray park, playground, tennis courts, rentable picnic pavilion, open areas, and natural landscape. This park has been around for a very long time. Here you can see a view of Patton Creek. The vegetation in this area has matured over time, but the general layout of the park remains the same. Years ago, there was a natural flagpole constructed at this park, which was believed to be the tallest flagpole in the United States. I show you this little bit of history because our future designs will incorporate some of these old historic concepts. Here's a layout of the park from the 1900s. Again, the parking area and circulation of the site generally remain the same. Playground has been upgraded and surfaces have been upgraded over time, but the entrance has remained the same. This park was known as the Gateway to Bellingham. It's the first city park that you see when you're traveling northbound on Chuckanut Drive, which was one of the main ways to access Bellingham at the time. Here's the renovation plan from 1980. I show you this plan because, again, the entrance and the layout of the park generally remain the same, while features in the park have been upgraded, and the vegetation has matured over time. The creek alignment has also generally stayed the same. Here's what the original entrance structure looked like at the site. We call this resource wise. At the time, they were logging and they had a lot of logs, so they built this fairly large structure that didn't last very long, but it was quite a prominent feature of the park. In 1925, we see this more modern, industrial, concrete and brick design, and this survived many years. This is what that structure looked like without all the mature vegetation over time. There were originally 6 columns. This was a celebration of construction and industriousness at the time. But over the years, these structures deteriorated. They are unreinforced concrete and brick. 2005, there were 4 columns remaining, and they were deteriorating and had to be partially removed. In 2016, there were 3 remaining, and at this time, the structure had deteriorated so much that it was physically removed due to safety concerns and could not be salvaged. In the meantime, the city installed a temporary park sign announcing the entrance as a placeholder for a future park gateway or signature sign. So now I'd like to talk about our design alternatives. Again, we looked at the past, we're looking at the future, what would be suitable and what would be nice as an entrance to this park. We have a $75,000 budget. This budget is for all design, permitting, and construction materials, everything needed to complete the project. The first design concept we would like to present to you is what we call the flagpole plaza. This could be constructed with or without a flagpole. Here's a rendering of what that would look like, a lower concrete structure with a fairly large area for the park sign. The next concept we call the monument. This structure was proposed as a play on natural areas, transitioning from state park to city-county line and into Bellingham. It could be constructed of natural stone or concrete, and it's got a fairly large face for a park, the park name. It could be constructed with or without the lantern. Option 3 is what we call the landmark. This is a tall column that also is an evolution of the 1925 columns. We would propose one in the center or possibly 2 on either side. And here's a rendering of what that would look like. One thing to note about this is for the budget, we may only be able to construct one. And also there's a fairly narrow face on the front of this column for the park name. If you're around Bellingham and you've noticed some other columns in town, such as at Cornwall Park, there is a column, but that's supplemented by a metal park sign because it is a little bit challenging to see the sign from the street. And the last option that we would like to present is much smaller in scale. This would be something similar to the brick monuments that you see all around Fairhaven that include a lantern and brick facade. Again, this has a smaller face for the park sign, and it may be more challenging to see from Chuckanut Drive. Our next steps in this process include returning to the Park and Rec Advisory Board with your input. We would also go to the Arts Commission with the final design, and then we would move forward with final contracts, design, permitting, and construction documents for a proposed construction date of 2023 in the summer when the weather is more favorable. I'd also like to mention that we would propose Wayfinding Sign along State Route 11. The Washington State Department of Transportation controls signage on this state route, and we would propose this sign announcing Fairhaven Park and the 100-acre wood entrance, which is also within Fairhaven Park, so that visitors could know when to turn into the park and expect to see that sign structure to announce the park entrance. That is the conclusion of this presentation. We look forward to hearing from you. Please feel free to email, call, or use the Engage Bellingham site to provide input on this project. Thank you for your time.